you want the body to be able to utilize and process it as quickly as possible. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to nourish yourself and create a lot of free radicals and oxidized, and the food is going to be just completely oxidized. So that's why we need to understand food combining. We need to eat under the right conditions, and we need to pay attention to what we eat in terms of quantities and qualities alike. Do you have, I can talk about food for days. I mean, there's a lot of things I can say about food. But if you have something general, I mean, a general question to do with the method, then I'm happy to try and answer. Anything to do with nutrition, optimum nutrition, or everything we discussed.
Whatever you said was really amazing. The one thing that left me with not so sure is the ripe fruit. For example, if you give me a very soft pear, I will not eat it. It's not appealing to me. I like the crunchy pear. I like it sweet and flavoursome, but not soft.
Okay, so I'm just repeating.
With bananas.
Okay.
I won't have a soft banana.
Okay, I'm just repeating the question. You said that everything that was said today was amazing, and you're agreeing with everything, which is a good start. Apart from the ripe fruit, and you said that a softy pear is not appealing to you, and you won't eat it. The same with the banana. Mm-hmm. So it has nothing to do with the taste. It's more to do with your concept. I mean, it's something that, the same with kids. You know, some kids say, I won't eat an avocado because it's mushy. I said, but you're having ice cream that it's mushy. It's not the taste, it's the expectation or the thought behind that. So when you're having a mushy pear, you're thinking that it's probably rot or it's off. That's the reason why you don't have it. So it's a story that you're telling to yourself rather than the actual objective piece of food that you have in front of you. So if I will bring, if you take a baby, for instance, and I always like to bring people back to infancy or just watch their own babies, you see that texture is something that they examine. I mean, they like to examine new textures, but the taste is more important usually than the texture. Now, you tell me, what taste do you experience when you're having a crunchy pear? Don't you feel like you're having a sock in your mouth?
No.
No? And when you're having a non-ripe banana?
It's just, I feel like I taste that it's got lots of flavour. It's tasty, it's delicious.
A non-ripe banana is more delicious than a sweet
and
banana.
A sweet, soft banana is not tasty.
Maybe you eat a banana when it's already fermented, when it's brown, when it's completely alcoholic. Because when I eat a banana, it has to be, the skin from the outside has to have it's all yellowish and it has these brown spots all over. But when I take the skin off, when I peel it, it has no brown spots on the banana itself. Mm-hmm. It's not mushy. But it's not hard. Mm-hmm. It is soft, but it's just sweet. So maybe you shouldn't eat pears and bananas. If there is something there, you know what? You need to start paying attention when you're eating things. You know, sometimes it's helpful to just cover your eyes and just concentrate in the taste. Concentrate in the actual physical sensation rather than the story, because I know with kids sometimes they love this and then a year later they hate it. They don't like mushroom because it sounds weird. And some people, I know the crunchiness is something that we all love to have. We love crunchy food, and it's related to the pleasure trap. It's something psychological. It's an animal instinct that we have when we have something crunchy. So we like crunchiness. It has nothing to do with health. So I can assure you that it's not healthy to have a non-ripe fruit or a non-ripe whatever it is. But every time you step into a corner, every time you in front of situation or a junction, you have to ask yourself, what's more important to me at the moment? That sensation of crunchiness, or to nourish my cells, or to heal myself through food? This is just the question that you need to ask yourself every time you make a choice. And sometimes you will find that health was not the best interest at that moment, which is fine. But the paying attention, it's deadly crucial, because if you do it and you do it from awareness, then you are much more in control. You will never have disasters, because you will be able to smell the danger way before it's going to be impossible to handle. So just, say to yourself, you know what? I love crunchy pears. I know this is not the best thing to my health, but I want to eat it. But just say to yourself every time you have it, you might be surprised how slowly you're gonna maybe, consider not to have that, or maybe consider putting it for an extra day on the sun. Because I know we all in our core want to be healthy. We all want health over anything else, because if we don't ever have our health, we haven't got anything else. Okay? So it's just something in your brain telling you that a crunchy pear or a crunchy banana is better. Yeah, he agrees. Oh, he doesn't agree. Any other questions regarding nutrition, diet?
So I'm interested that some fruit, when it's ripe, is crunch. Some, like salad stuff, you want it crunchy. It has to be crunchy. It's fresh, it's sweet, it's crunchy, it's juicy. And then other things to be ripe. They're not crunchy when they're ripe. So it's like, if I want something crunchy, maybe I'll have an apple, not a pear, or...
Yeah.
I don't know. Because I enjoy all the sensei. I enjoy the crunchy. I love the crunchy, but I also enjoy the soft sweet. So I had a melon this morning, and it was so soft and juicy. I was just spooning it out of the half of the melon, and the juice was in there, and it was so. I don't know. It's. There's lots of variety.
There is.
There's so much choice. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that if you pay attention, I'm going back to the pear, because it's not the pear. It's making decisions through stories. Yeah. I think if you try to pay attention when you eat that pear, you know what? Even if it's not ripe. This is not ripe yet, but even if it's not ripe, just, and again, today, 27th of February 2019, you are still, if you're having salt and you're having sugar, and it's very difficult for you to get off those, it means that your glands are not pure. So it's like, I'm going to give an example from something that is a bit radical, but maybe you can relate to it. It's like asking a drunk person directions. They don't know, because the navigation sense is completely distorted. Your glands are a little bit hijacked at the moment. So maybe things that I can enjoy for you is a bit difficult, because if you are hooked on sugar and salt, we know it drives the glands crazy, and you need to compensate on that pear, which is quite, boring fruit. It's not an exotic fruit. So you're looking for something extra. So if it's not crunchy, it's just sweet and soft, it's not enough for me. Because the more the food is sensational and tasty, the level of expectations go higher and higher. So because I'm not talking about you, and it's not a personal attack, it's everyone. Everybody who's starting this journey. I grew up on having salt on my salad and olive oil and lemon. and garlic. My mother liked to use garlic and onion, so I grew up having tahini with garlic, and having sugar on my whatever I was drinking, tea or sugar. She was making me like a chocolate drink. So I grew up like this. It's everybody is the same. But when it's like a smoker who doesn't smell anything, and then they stop smoking and they start enjoying the scent of flowers and perfumes. And I'm not pro perfume, so don't catch me in my word. But they sense things, they smell things, but because their sense of smell was so corrupted in a way because of the cigarettes, they can be, they can be around the horrible smells and they won't notice it. So this is the same with, maybe you're trying to compensate with the crunch, because the crunchiness is another part of excitement from food. It's the taste and the textures. It's two things that we're looking for in food. We want the texture and we also want the flavor. So if it's just flavor and no texture, then it's boring. So I'm sure pear is not your first choice. When you're thinking about fruit, I'm sure pear, let's say about mango. Can you have a non-ripe mango? It's disgusting.
But a very mushy mango is also not pleasant.
It has to be soft. I don't know what mushy is. It has to be soft. It's hard to chew it. It's like slime. But this is the fruit. This is the fruit. But if you really, really like crunchy, go for apples.
Right.
Jazz apples.
An apple, you agree, can be crunchy.
It's the speed. It's a type. It's the It's the different sorts, the different kinds of apples. There is the Gala, which is not crunchy at all. There is the Brabant is crunchy. The Brabant is very nice, and the Jazz is the best apple I've ever tasted in my life. Never had. They don't have them in Israel, but these are the best apples I've ever tasted. So some apples are just by design; they're not crunchy.
Yeah. What you said about smoking is interesting. I have 2 boys that smoke, 2 of my kids. I'm going to ask them if they can smell. I never
even
noticed
food,
that.
even taste. It even blurs the taste glands.
Amazing.
Yeah, they can't. I was a smoker, a heavy smoker for many, many years. And I know I couldn't smell things, I couldn't enjoy my food. You need more spices in the food because you don't think that, these are all connected, the mouth and the ears. It's the same physician in the surgery. It's in Hebrew, it's af, ozen, garon. It's the throat, the ears, and the nose. It's the same physician because it's the same system. It's always get irritated by the smoke right in here, in this area. Always lots of toxins, like 400 toxins in every inhale. 400 toxins in every inhale, over and over and over again. It corrupts tissues, so you're not sensitive, so you can't enjoy a lot of things that are to do with taste and smell and scent. So certainly smoking or eating things with some people say, and it's a funny saying, I remember when I was young, people say that chili things like hot pepper opens your appetite. And I remember I heard this saying when I was young, and I was trying, now when I know a little bit more about health and nutrition, I said, what did they really mean when they say it opens your appetite? And I'll tell you exactly my conclusion. It just blurs your appetite because you don't feel anything. It burns your tongue completely, so you can just eat without feeling anything. You don't have a barrier to stop you, so you can just eat like.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Things are so distorted.
They are, but don't get discouraged.
No, I'm not. I'm very encouraged.
Good. That's the point. The point is, and I want to finish up with something, because this last parasha was Parashat Kitisa. It's about the golden calf when Bnei Israel, Moshe went up for 40 days, and because Hashem gave them the 10 commandments, which is a completely secretive, need to be decoded. So Moshe goes for 40 days and 40 nights, and he comes back down, and they're celebrating, party time, singing and doing horrible things. and he goes down and he holds these new tablets and he throws them on the ground and breaks them. So this is a very interesting parasha, and there's a lot of questions that come from this parasha, and I just found everything that I've learned. I've learned like 5 hours, different rabbis, different shiurim. Everything that I saw, every interpretation brought me back to health. Everything is about what I'm learning. Everything is about what I'm teaching. So I can see everything connected. One thing, for instance, one of the questions that people ask about the golden calf is, what in the world were they thinking to themselves? I mean, they just, they heard Hashem. They've been taken out of Egypt. They saw miracle after miracle. And they couldn't wait. They couldn't wait these 6 hours for Moshe to come down, and they're just starting paganism all of a sudden. Were they stupid? Were they impatient? What's wrong with them? It doesn't make sense. And the son of Rambam, the son of the Rambam asked his father the very same question, and the Rambam said, old habits die hard. People don't change overnight because of a miracle. It's 200 years of being in Egypt with your parents, and your cousins and everybody embedded in that culture of Egypt. It doesn't matter. So you had a few miracles, and they had more than few miracles, but you don't change overnight. So that's one thing that I'm teaching people all the time. Don't get discouraged. Just start. You're going to fall down. You're going to fail. Get up. Keep walking. So that's one thing that I saw that is related to health. And there was another thing that was important, and that's lead me to physician. When he broke the tablets, Moshe gets praise on it at the last pasuk of the Torah. In the last pasuk of the Chumash, it says something that that Moshe did was so great. And Rashi explains that what was so great, breaking the tablets. That was the actual praise for breaking. And we ask why it's so great about breaking the tablets. Is the fact that he did touch himself. He worked so hard for creating these tablets. He was 40 days not eating, not sleeping, nothing, just bringing the Torah. But when he saw Bnei Israel downstairs, down sinning, he said, my efforts are not important. I'm happy to throw that away. And that's something that we can understand why sometimes physicians find it very difficult to accept other things, because there has a lot of risk to accept those ideas. Right?
What was the last thing you said? Sometimes physicians.
Yeah, because I've read it somewhere in a book that I'm reading now, that when you try to explain a new idea to someone and his income depends on him not understanding it, then if I am a physician and I've learned a lot of years and I have reputation and my income is great and I've already saved for my kids and I'm on the top of the mountain, and now you're coming and you're telling me, look, there is this natural hygiene that says that medication kills and you have to treat the symptoms and you have to give me more than 5 minutes and all the things that we learn, and food is medicine and in order to accept what you said just now, I need to vision that I'm gonna lose everything I am attached to. My reputation, my income, my clients, my respect, my everything, then it's easier for me not to understand that. In Hebrew they say, Shochad yaver einei chachamim v'yesalef divrei tzadikim. You familiar with that?
Yeah, but translating.
Okay. Shochad yaver einei chachamim. When you are bribed, when you are touched, when you're not pure, even if you're a very, very, very wise person, you can get blind for a minute. It's you're not going to see that. And the second part of the phrase say, "Shochad yaver einei chachamim v'yesalef divrei tzadikim." And shochad being affected in that, being bribed in a way, it's going to distort It might help you distort what sages said. Okay, so I'm going to distort the truth in a way that's going to serve my needs. So this is when you come to the table with as a scientist, you need to come with your hands clean. Like, I'm willing to give everything up. That means that I'm not bribed in any way, not to myself, not to my respect, to my income, to my efforts. And we praise Moshe for willing to give up 80 years of his life. He's dedicated for Bnei Israel, for bringing the Torah, for teaching them the ways of Hashem. But he said, no, I mean, these tablets, which is an act of God, you will never, nobody's seen those miraculous things called God-made tablets. The tablets that came later were man-made, and they came from this world, not from the spiritual world. So he said, he's been recognized for not even hesitating for a second about my ego, my PhD in Torah, or my devotion to studying for 40 days. This is not important. I'm detaching myself from my efforts and my achievements. I'm pro the truth. The truth is everything was for Bnei Israel. The Torah was created for Bnei Israel. Not Bnei Israel were created for the Torah. So detaching ourselves from this horrible attachment, if we not do that, we might distort wise people saying, whatever the wise man said, or keep us blind and blur our vision completely.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome. Hope to see you next. Do you have another question?
No, just can I have a venture?
Sure.
Please.